Let's see if we can get a good game on Wonder, if there is such a thing. On the left-hand side, we have Thunderchild and Momo Uchiha. Then on the right, we have an empty spot. Who on earth is here? Is it John Cena playing? And we've got Send Me Dem Picks. That's going to be Aeon Cybran versus Seraphim and Cybran. So no UEF represented, Mirror Cybran, and then Aeon versus Seraphim. Brother against brother, master against teacher, and all that, with the space hippies up against the dirty alien scum. That's why I picked Cybran Small Loyalists with stun. Yes, that is probably the single most ludicrous thing about Equilibrium in general that I have seen, is the stunning hunter. It turns into some weirdness very quickly. We do have a flare headed out. Send me dem picks. Oh no, wait, hold on. That is not mirror. So Cybrans are actually opposed diagonally. Flare headed out. That's going to give a good amount of intel when it dies and offer some good combat capabilities on the front line. Before then, these, oh my goodness, those actually have 125 HP. So it takes 2 shots from an ACU to kill that. Labs are not supposed to take 2 hits. This is not a tank bot. What on earth is with that balance change? I want to see a Mech Marine now. I want to see how much HP it has. Okay. Apparently that German or Dutch name that I brutalized so badly just a minute ago has something to do with equilibrium, because Gleichwisch? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that. Means something like balance or equilibrium. Okay. I can understand that. Empty spot is going to go for an air factory after a hydro and 2 power generators. Pretty traditional build, although he did skip a mass extractor, and he has 2 hunters heading out to the north side, accompanied by a scout. Pix is going for a group of land factories, many at the same time, with an air factory planned forth. I think we shall have to see exactly how that goes, and also I'm curious as to how he's going to balance this out. He's got manual reclaim on a couple of engineers, and then an attack move order on these 2 that are sucking up clumps of trees to balance out his power needs so that he can go for this super aggressive factory build without having to get enough power generators up in the meantime. You'll remember that the building of a factory takes more power than the running of that factory. So if you have enough power to stall ever so slightly when you're building the land factory, you will be positive once the factory finishes and starts building a unit, specifically for land. Air, that is not the case, because air units are much more expensive power-wise. Engineer moving up to the front, got a power grid laid down in the back. Momo Uchiha is going for 2nd air factory, 3rd land. For some reason, all adjacent on the mass extractor without any extra power to speak of, so that is probably going to be a power stall for him, but no, he is managing to get just enough reclaim in that he's not going negative. Thunderchild on the north, similar story with his 3rd land factory going down after a 3rd air factory. 3 total land, 3rd in order for the air, and he has already got an air scout headed down towards his leading edge. That's going to give him a little intel on anything coming in that might be raiding him. He is going to get sight on this flare and move one of his mantis over to deal with said thing. 125 HP versus 330. I think that might also be a bump on the HP for the mantis, because I think that'll take 4 shots to kill from an ACU, and Mantis always died in 3 shots before. So there has been a complete rebalancing of the T1. That's not good, because that means that your ACU will die much more easily to T1 units. Before, a well-microed tank is worth about, or a well-microed ACU is worth about 20 T1 tanks, but since you have to spend an extra shot killing each tank, and each tank does 1 more second of damage, you're probably going to have to run from a collection of 15 tanks-ish. 15 tanks would have a chance of killing the commander. So that seems like a good way to lead to an early death. You heard it here, folks. When you're in Equilibrium mod, T1 spam your opponent into oblivion, just swarm the ACU and you can kill him, no problemo. Empty Spot, picking off some of the oncoming tanks that Momo Uchiha has hurled at his base. We do have a T1 Mass Extractor online already for Thunderchild, and I would not be surprised at all if we were to see an early T2 Land Factory, because that seems like a good direction ahead when you're on a map that has as much mass as Wonder. You've seen the reclaim picture before. Nobody is up at the craters as of yet to claim all of these rocks, but there is plenty of mass otherwise on the map. Send Me Them Pics is up on the front line with his commander, very exposed, and he is going to come in contact with Thunderchild's base. Looks like people are having ping problems, so we are not the only ones experiencing lag. Dunst in chat, it's not about balance, it's about equilibrium. Yes, exactly. It does sound super balanced. It's German, and yeah, it was close. I was able to understand you. So my pronunciation wasn't that bad. It's close enough that I don't sound like an alien. So the phonetic pronunciation spelled out here by Pegasus would be Gleichwicht. Okay. Cool. All right, back to the action. We've got some artillery fire coming down on Thunderchild, who is shedding a little bit more HP than his opponents, but he is still in it. Auroras are now going to be able to kite back from the ACU, maintaining firing range, although that was a little bit of an early turnoff on the ACU fire. I wonder if the range on the Aurora has been tweaked as well. I would be curious to know. And it looks like on a transport we have a group of units. Might be Mantis, might be Hunters. Looks like those are Hunters. Nifty neato. That could have been a Ghetto gunship. Nope, it is one Hunter and two Mantis. So one Mass Extractor will be lost there on the front, and then those can move through the rear to wreak some havoc while the gray player is distracted over on the right, dealing with this mess in front of him. T1 bombers coming in across the Auroras, wreaking havoc on those low HP units, which are not actually as low as they once were. Mantis moving over to the left, may be able to kill one more Mass Extractor, but I think that they will be caught relatively soon by this superior group of units. Send Me Dem Pix has come out ahead in that land battle, but there is a T1 point defense and a radar going down in the base, so he will not be free to attack at will due to the fact that he has no T1 artillery left in his main grouping. So he won't be able to deal with that point defense, and Aurora, of course, are objectively terrible at attacking T1 PD. Over on this side, we do have quite a good selection of land factories running, 5 in total, with a 6th built but not yet queued, as Momo Uchiha bears down on Empty Spot, who is taking arty fire to the face and struggling to retreat. 2,800 HP, bringing his units in, trying to block the pathfinding of the oncoming tanks as he attempts to kill off as many as he possibly can. Again with the 4-shot kill on the Thams, 360 HP on those sons of guns. Overcharge landing on Empty Spot as he puts something in chat to the effect that he thinks he's going to die. Semi-Dem Pix, meh, whatever, I suppose. Looks like 1,300 HP. If he had kept running just a little bit more, Momo had stopped pursuing him and he might have been able to escape, although he may still be there. He's on 900 HP, but no, the artillery is blocking his pathfinding. Thankfully, tanks also got in Momo's way. Oh, that arty shot though. 1,100 HP, 21 regen on that single vet ACU, but now there is a serious problem as Momo is going to be able to knock out this entire base with his ACU and the units flowing in. Thankfully, Empty Spot was able to move into the airbase and already has a couple of factories online along with 3 air factories that he can now stream units forward with. I would not be putting that ACU back in the fight. I would definitely be moving back to get a little regen. You're at 1500 HP. That is well within reach of a handful of overcharges. Semidem Pix is in danger of a mutual KO. 3000 HP versus 3500. This is gonna be close. 3000. No! No! He's above the nuke level. 3200. 16 HP. Oh, this is going to be close. A couple of overcharges is all it's going to take. 1200 HP. Thankfully, regenning a little. That's a mutual KO. And that's the strong eco for the south side. But then again, it is the strong eco for the north as well. So we have another mutual destruction in these 2v2s. We may see a lot of that as time goes on, because if you're able to kill off one of your opponents in an even trade, or maybe a slightly better than even trade, you can come out very far ahead. 2700 HP on this commander. Please do not walk into that ACU without cause. You're actually ahead. Look at this. We've got 35 mass to 29 mass, roughly even power, and we have superior amount of build power on the south than for the north. So all you gotta do is play it safe, keep your ACU where it's not easily snipeable, and you can still make this work. You just gotta not give up. Empty Spot can totally do this. Another land factory coming online. Gotta get those things turned on. And we're now seeing some engineers queued up to the north to try and claim these T1 mass extractors. Get that mass income in hand. Empty Spot retreating, as I think is wise, as these tanks mutilate the rest of that base. That was a weird hitch there. I almost couldn't get the word mutilate out of my mouth. It's almost like my tongue is rebelling against me. Oh my. Is that really what I think it is? Please don't tell me that's what I think it is. Because I'm looking at your air count, yo, and your opponent has 6 interceptors, and you only have 3 jesters, and you don't have any air yourself. I don't see how this is going to work, but I mean, you can try. It'll be interesting. Thunderchild, go T2 or gun. So that's going to be T2 on the ACU, lending it even more HP. I just realized that that is also a single vet ACU. Empty Spot now claiming his side once again. He's got to get more engineers out to get all of these mass extractors in hand. Looks like he's got a massive land factory spam going on to the north. Empty Spot scaling up as he is able, but he's on minus 41 mass per tick, which is not a good place to be at all. You need to get engineers out and reclaim, son. You got to get some income. You can't build more without having mass income. Momo's already on 44 per tick and doing much better with his balance, although that is going to be a severe negative run. Might have just dumped a mass extractor upgrade. I'm not entirely sure. No, T2 with assistance going for gun. 28,000 power storage. Why on earth do you have 3 power storages? That is ridiculous. But it did let him save up and get a very fast gun upgrade, so I suppose that we can't hate on him too terribly much. Going back out to observers, we've now got a collection of jesters that is quite vast indeed. It's going to be 9. I'm not sure how much damage they do individually. I will look it up in just a second, but that is enough to do some serious harm to an ACU. Let me scroll down here and tab in. I do believe that the unit database will be accurate on this one. That is 53 DPS per jester. So with that 9 jester setup, that's what, 475-ish damage per second? So this ACU will be dead in 26 seconds if all jesters can maintain fire. However, there is a little problem called air. There's interceptors in the way, and I don't know that those jesters will be able to make this work. No, the inties are after the jesters. They're pulling back. You gotta get your inties up to defend. No, they're all going to die. Why do you do this to yourself? And now they're moving up towards the ACU. There are only 6 left in the air, 5 left in the air, 4 left in the air. And what was a hopeful moment is now an example of how not to micro your units as the interceptors fly wild to the north. These jesters were picked up on radar over to this edge. And that is a downer if ever I have seen one. Empty Spot actually had a decent chance at a snipe there. I don't know. There were a lot of mobile anti-air in this mix, so I don't know that that is the case. But that was a throw. Yeah, people in chat, that probably lost him the game. I think you are correct, because that was a lot of mass put into those jesters that he now is not going to be able to get back. He can reclaim the wreckage, but he's losing 20-odd% of the mass value. It's going to take time. He's now behind on his expansion. All in all, not a good thing. But thanks to anti-air Mantis and a handful of interceptors, he will now be in control of air. He does have enough antis to wipe his opponent out. So should he go back to building gestures, he might be okay. But as soon as T2 comes on the field, which is more likely with every passing moment, soon as T2 comes up, Flak will hit the field and those gestures will be next to useless. Engineers out on the north are picking up reclaim and getting mass extractors built, so things are slowly turning around for Empty Spot. He's back up on top with mass, nearly tying Momo Uchiha on production. However, his power is not in as good a position. 640 power to his name, although he does have enough power for how much mass he has. He is starting gun, though, which may end up putting him into a power stall. Let's go back out here to the grand view of the map. Many, many units indeed pooling on the north. Wonder how many land factories we've got running. That is going to be a total of 16 land factories, and on the other side we have only got 6. However, Momo has got more mass, so his 6 land factories may end up being about as efficient as his opponent's 15 or so. Yeah, you gotta get mass. Look at all of the reclaim. Look at how many engineers are on reclaim orders. There's like 5. You gotta do better than that, Empty Slot. This game is still completely within your grasp. If you could reclaim enough to run those land factories, you would swarm out your opponent so quickly he would not know what hit him. You've already got nearly as many units as he does, and you've got so much more build power. Just go straight Medusa spam, plow the fire base under that your opponent is building, and then use all of the Mantis on the outskirts of the map to tear everything else up. We do have tanks moving on the top right. This is not a critical expansion to lose, but it would be better not to lose it. I really think you need to be moving your Mantis, yo. Please get this under control. I think he may have just given up. I wish sometimes that people could see what I could see on this, because if you're looking at the grand view, although I guess that's one of the realities of any game, if you could see everything that's going on and know that it's not a hopeless situation, then you would be much more apt to dive in wholeheartedly. But you can't see it, unfortunately. You can only see what you've got on your own radar, and I'm sure what Empty Spot has on his radar looks terrifying. So he does have a T2 radar. That is giving him pretty good coverage. He sees loads of units with not enough radar coverage to know what's going on up here. Then he's got all of these units on radar on the front along with the T2 point event. So from his situation, it looks pretty hopeless. We switch over to Momo. Momo knows most of what's going on, has pretty good scoutages over on this side, but does not have everything scoped out. And now we have the complete picture. I think this might be another suicide attempt. Empty Spot going after the commander when he does not have to, throwing away all of his units on the fire base. And now his ACU is overcommitted, taking fire from so many PD. And that is going to end it for him as he walks to his own doom. That is such a pointless death. You had it, man. You had it. You're tied on income, mass, and power when you're reclaiming. You had quadruple the build power of your opponent. You could have made this work. Could have made it work. Well played all the way around. Everybody did a pretty good job. I just hope that Empty Spot does not give up on any games in the future, because he was in a much better position than he thought that he was. That is going to wrap everything up for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like and share it with someone. If you want to support the channel, catch the streams, or join the Discord, check out the links in the description. Thank you all for being at least partially insane, and I will see you in the next one.